right. Hi. Hello. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Higher and Beyond. And I believe this is going to be an amazing conversation with my guest speaker today. But everyone and guys, I'm going to introduce who is my guest speaker today. Oh, it's going to be surprising, by the way. All right, I have Rupali Tana here with, it called Fantastic Females. And for all of you who doesn't know who is Rupali has 13 years experience in asset management and banking. She is also the founder of Prana House Wellness Center in Dubai, and she is also NLP practitioner, life coach, and hypnotherapy. This is going to be amazing, as I mentioned earlier. And so, without further ado, let's welcome Rupali Tana. Hi, Rupali. How are you?
Hi, Uni. Thank you very much for having me. And I'm so excited that we're recording this podcast together after meeting, a few days ago. So, very, very
Yeah,
excited. We've known each
yeah.
other for a couple of years at least, I would say. And yeah, thank you for having me.
It's really a pleasure. I'm so excited. I've been waiting, to have this conversation because I've seen, your your content, especially like you mentioned, we've been known each other for quite some time, and then we have some kind of same journey in the personal development, and I'm curious about what you're doing, by the way. Rupali, okay. You know what, Rupali, can you share a little bit about your journey, because we've been known each other for such quite some time, and what is actually lead you to pursue training in modalities like NLP, hypnotherapy, and life coaching? As we all know that you have 13 years experience in asset management and banking, and then how does that lead to NLP, hypnotherapy, and such life coaching?
Yes. So I feel like I studied maths and stats. I love numbers, and so that's what I studied. I worked in banking, and I've lived a life that I always thought I should be living. In that life, I thought I was doing pretty well, and I still believe I am. But what happened in between is there was a time where I felt like I didn't know myself to an extent that I should know myself. And what I mean by that is, little things such as what do I like, what do I dislike, what experiences do I like. And it may sound silly, and to me, it sounds silly right now knowing this, but I didn't know those things. And so I set out to pursue a route that helped me understand who I am. So I went for a coach. I went for a coaching session, excuse me, and I'm a bit of a research analyst by nature, and so I would love to know everything before I go anywhere. And anyway, so I went for the session, and she said, oh, we'll tap into CBT, hypnotherapy, many different things depending on what you need. And I said, no, but what is it exactly that we're going to be doing? And so anyways, through that I discovered this topic of CBT. And so I went on to research it online, and I came across the course that I started, and that's where my journey began.
Oh, wow. So before you jump into the NLP, hypnotherapy, and life coaching, you actually did some research before you jump into that?
Exactly. So my training and my certifications all started with CBT.
Oh, wow. What made you uh, like the CBT at the first place, especially in the personal development journey?
Yeah. So I feel like I didn't know too much about any of these fields, and the my life I don't know, she was not called a life coach, but the lady who I went to for my sessions mentioned CBT, and I thought, oh wow, what is this? And I had a very profound I had very profound sessions with her, and so through that I thought, oh my goodness, I have to know everything there is about CBT. So I started researching, and then that's what. Yeah. Yeah. So then I did all my other courses, and yeah, here we are.
How do you like the CBT right now after you took that course? and learning about all of these things.
Yeah, so I feel like I love sharing everything that CBT and personal growth and everything brings. I didn't know why CBT, but I did NLP afterwards, and some people say NLP is better than CBT, all of that. But I feel like each of these have played a really big role in my life. And so I set out to certify in all these things. I became a bit of a certification junkie to the extent where I continued doing one after the next. And that's because of the focus it had, not so much to become a coach and not so much to become uh, whatever it is, practitioner. It was more for my own personal growth journey. And these courses were focused on our own journey before anyone else's, as you know, Uni, because you've
Yeah.
also done some of these.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that was super important.
Hmm. Interesting. And Rupali, as the founder of Prana House Wellness Center in Dubai, I've known you, and you also mentioned that you've started several businesses that did not work out as you planned at the time. And then, what were some of the most impactful lessons you learned from those experiences, and what would you do differently today? Because I see the Prana House now.
Yeah. So these questions, I was just thinking, what you've mentioned. That question was for, I'm thinking of that question for you also because I feel like you and I both have had a journey that has brought us here. So if you don't mind, before we go into that, it would be great for you to share a little bit about yourself, your personal growth journey, and I know your audience is fully familiar with you, but when I posted on the Fantastic Females podcast, then I'd love the listeners to know who Uni is and what drives Uni and what got Uni to where she is today. So if you can share a little bit about yourself, and then we can dig into your businesses, what I'm doing, and we can take it from there.
Interesting. Wow. It's like a long story, actually. Experience as a sales more than 10 years in the retail company. And then I don't know, I just like, I still remember when I was really young, I dream about, I want to be a public speaker, like a motivational speaker at the time. And I dream about that, but I, it didn't go well as I wanted. And I ended up working as a sales with um, more than 10 years experience in sales. And then all of a sudden I decided to, I'm just going to start a business. I started my business, I bought a restaurant, and I started investment, and everything did not go well. And now I'm actually building my personal development, like training higher and beyond call, because I personally, yeah, like what you mentioned also, I just love personal development journey, especially this is for myself at the beginning. And it's not for, some kind of practitioner, as you also mentioned earlier. But if I can help other people um, to, I'm just gonna say that being aware of themselves, I think this is going to be impactful
Hmm.
in, in my life. And I started to become really love about um, personal development journey and giving training, etc., etc. And I'm going to um, elevate and make it broad. But this is something that I need to work on, and I want to learn from you too. What about you?
Yeah. Amazing. That's amazing. I think we've got so much in common. I think, us as humans, we all have so much in common, yet we get so caught up in the differences. And I find it amazing how much in common we have when we actually open up and speak. You're higher and beyond. my Prana house. We're all on a mission to spread wellness, to get people to know each other, know themselves better, to get to know, to get to be the best person they are. And we've got so many different things we're planning together, which I'm very excited for,
Yeah.
which we will share as soon as we have some more clarity and details that we can share. But I think that it's such an important aspect, and so the topics that I cover, in Fantastic Females, we're a podcast about money and mindset,
Wow,
and
this is amazing.
all yeah, all things money and mindset, and it goes along holistic wellness too. But money is the topic that we focus on because of my background and because of everything I'm quite good at, if I may say so myself. However, mindset has been the challenge in terms of money mindset specifically, and we all grow up in different ways, and so I've become really passionate about helping people see, or being the means through which people are able to help themselves see, that what beliefs they have and hold around money are not what they have to continue holding, and are not what necessarily helps them. So in your journey of the restaurant that you found and or bought and worked on, and your other ventures you've been working on, what firstly, what does money mindset mean to you as an individual? And then, secondly, in the context of business, what does it mean to you?
Interesting one. Interesting question. I mean, I love this question. It's such a good question because, in the first place, when I started my business, I did not know what is actually the money mindset. To be quite honest, I'm gonna tell you, Rupali, that I did not have a really good relationship with money because I did not have that money mindset. Because I was just like, I thought money is was not important, right? And then when I started that business, my focus was I just want to make money. I just want to be rich with this business. And the idea is I'm gonna do whatever to make this business going so well. And at the end, it did not go very well. The more I think about, the more I'm actually focusing to make myself being rich, the more I'm actually disconnected with money. And then all of my businesses gone at the same time. So I
Hmm.
actually now and be well, and because of that, I started to realize that business is not like this. We cannot just
Hmm.
focus only on one thing, especially, like I want to be that, I want to reach the money, I want to be the rich person because of this business. It's not like that.
Hmm.
And yes, I started to actually realize that, well, a year ago actually, and I started to actually have a very good relationship with money, but I really want to learn from you. How does that actually money mindset that you are working on, especially you have this experience for more than 13 years?
Yeah. So I think there's two concepts. There's the tangible money that we have, and there is the energy around money. And so this experience I have is about tangible money, banking, and all the masculine type of stuff. Whereas money mindset is more the energetics of money. And you know, the first thing that kind of I think of when I think of money mindset is, you to illustrate how it plays out in the real world is, for example, repeated patterns that we have in our lives. So, for example, some people think they can never keep money. Some people think as soon as I receive money, it's going to go. Something comes up and I always end up letting go of money. And that's one type of pattern. Second pattern is I have all this money, but I'm scared it'll go. So I'm not going to use it. I'm going to hold it really tight to me. And I'm not, you have this really icky energy about money where you're like, scared to enjoy the money you have. So you may see some millionaires and billionaires that are scared of using money, and that are the most stingiest people. They think about a $5 thing like you and I may not even think about as much. Um, so I think it money mindset plays out regardless of what your level of income is, or what your level of bank balance is, what your exposure to money is. It plays a role. So that is to illustrate the problem. Now, where does it stem from is where what we work on. And it stems from your subconscious mind. So for example, when we grew up, our parents may have told us things like money is evil, rich people are evil, um, you have to be bad to get money, you have to work very hard to make money, you have to work really really hard, unless you work hard it's not possible to make money, things like that. So things like that are very important in money mindset. So the first thing that I think awareness is the biggest issue. Most people are not aware of their underlying subconscious beliefs. So I may not know I think money is evil, and that's why I keep myself poor because I don't want to be evil, right? Who wants to be evil? So if you're thinking money is evil, why would you want money? So your subconscious tries to protect you. It tries to protect you by keeping less money with you because it thinks that the minute you have money, it means you are evil. Or if, let's say you have, or you may think that people, so subconsciously back in the Stone Ages, right? How people were in the Stone Ages is you were a part of a group, and if you were disliked, that was a problem to your survival. It was a threat to your survival. However, if you were liked, that would help you survive. So, being liked is a very important thing in our human kind of subconscious mind. And how this is linked to money is that if you think that people are going to dislike you if you have money, then your subconscious will make sure you do not get money. And how do you make sure you don't get money is by these patterns we repeat, self sabotage. So in a nutshell, this is very high level, but that's what
Yeah.
money mindset is, and the behaviors that these beliefs drive, without us even knowing, is the part where the magic kind of, you can kind of work on and change the story you tell yourself.
Oh my God. I think it was me because Rupali, this that those relationship that I've had with money was just like a pattern. It's like I've got the money and then it's gone. I've got the money and then it's gone. I don't even have the saving.
Hmm.
What makes that pattern actually have in that in us, and how do we learn, and how can we break those patterns so we can have a good relationship with money?
Yes, very good question. So I think that, look, there's a lot of many different money beliefs that people have, okay? And patterns of not having money and not keeping money is a sign that your subconscious is trying to protect you in some way, because it has some belief that has been instilled within it that money is bad for you, for your survival. Now, what belief you hold about money is something that we need to work on and try and understand. As you're aware, to find limiting beliefs, you have to go through a process to understand it. And but quick, easy things that I often tell the listeners to do is, three things. What is it that you find yourself saying the most about money? Do you end up telling people that, oh, I can't afford that? That's way too much money. This isn't worth it. Or only those people have that much money. I don't. What belief is so? What do you end up saying about money? That's the first thing to other people, or even joking. You hear people joking about, oh, ha ha ha, that life isn't for us. But
Yeah.
that joke has a lot that it holds within. So, what is it that you find yourself saying about money? Is the one thing you have to observe. Secondly, what is it that you find yourself thinking about money? So, for example, when you're making a purchase, how do you think about money? What is the thoughts you have when you're buying something? Are you saying, "Oh no, it's going. Oh no, it's gone. Oh, I'm always spending money." Oh, is it more amazing? I get to have this. I get to afford this. I get to use this. I'm excited. What words do you use in your mind when it's about spending money? What do you use? What do you say or think when you're receiving money? So, for example, I know culturally when we grew up, if someone gave us money, we were told, do not take money from anyone. So,
Yes.
don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Don't take it. So, what is it that, is there something like that maybe that is instilled? And so you struggle accepting money. And when you struggle accepting money, it means that you maybe it comes into your bank account, but you're not able to accept it because you think it will make you look greedy. So somehow you self sabotage when you spend it.
Yeah.
Somehow a situation, you attract a situation where you spend it. So that's also a way to identify these kind of beliefs. And then what do you feel around money? So when the topic of money comes up, does it stress you out? When you look at your bills, does it stress you out, or do you think amazing, I get to have all this electricity that I'm paying for and I'm using and I love it? Or is it that, oh, here's another bill, oh no? Is it um, the feeling, is it heavy or is it light? Is it exciting or is it stressed? So those emotions you have to kind of tune into as and when you're spending money and receiving money to see what is it that I'm thinking and feeling here. So that's in a nutshell how you can start exploring the topic on the surface to really identify what is it that you're feeling, what is it that you believe about money that is causing these repeated patterns.
Oh wow. I mean, yes, I do have those patterns actually. Like, oh my god, I see my bills. Oh gosh, oh my god, this is a lot. Oh, and those kind of things. So, Rupali, I'm wondering, like, how are we going to have an excited feeling when in the reality, we really don't have that money to pay our bills?
Yeah, good question. So I think that the first step is always to do a little bit of a reality check. Because when you say, I know, look, I'm not going to, I know people have life situations, and I know there are people that may have millions in their account but are scared to spend the money and feel they don't have the money. So I know those are two very different things. But the answer I'm going to give you is very generic in the sense that I think it's important to do a fact check of your life, look back, assess currently what is it that you do have. Forget focusing on what you don't have, okay? Just a little reminder of, okay, I have this roof on my head. I'm able to afford this food I'm eating. I'm able to earn an income. There is an inflow of money. If there isn't, then you look at what you do already have in the sense of um, when you're kind of doing things around you through the day, you just have to find those little things that you do have. There's many things that we all do have. I think the world is focused on what we don't have, and that's where the trap happens. But the very first step is, firstly, you're aware, like you said, you're identifying, okay, this is how I am feeling. This is how what I am talking about money. This is how I am thinking about money. That's the first step. Awareness. Secondly, it's about reminding yourself of what you do have. So, for example, if you've got some form of an education that you've gotten in the past, your degree or any certifications or any education that you do have, you remind yourself that I have this. I was able to work through this. I was able to pay for this. I've got this. It's something you've got. So it's these little things you tap into of what you do have. right? And that
Yeah.
automatically you'll realize it relaxes your shoulders a little bit. It's a way of telling your nervous system that I'm okay.
Yeah.
I am okay. Because what happens is when we are stuck in this mindset of I don't have this bill, money to pay for this bill, I don't have this, oh, but I want to buy this, I don't have this, all of that, then your nervous system is so unregulated that there's no possible way to deal with this situation with an unregulated nervous system. So the first thing we have to do is mentally tell ourselves what we do have as one way of regulating your nervous system. A second way of regulating your nervous system is taking some breaths, maybe engaging in your senses. What are the few things that I can feel around me? The air on my skin, the material on my clothes on my body, my hair, my face, my if the AC is on, the air, whatever it is, the rain. If you're walking outside, you feel the rain. So these are ways to regulate your nervous system, because without regulating you cannot do anything. So that's always my personal go to, that you tackle the mind through reminding yourself what you do have, and you tackle your energy and your body through regulating your nervous system. That's the first thing I would do.
Wow. So personal regulation is actually one way, a simple thing that we can do to appreciate, to be, uh, let's say, grateful for what we have instead of focusing on something. Oh, I don't have the money. Instead of saying that, instead of allowing our mindset to think about that, so simply just shift those thoughts into something like self-regulation, like feel everything that um, happen, or everything that we have in our body. Is that what
Mhm.
you say?
Yes, exactly. Because what happens, why is your nervous system, when you feel stress or when you feel anxious about money, then what happens is your body and your subconscious mind thinks you are dying. Your subconscious mind thinks you're not surviving,
True.
that
Yeah.
your entire existence is at threat. So
Yeah.
you have to remind your nervous system that this bill does not mean I am dying. I actually have all these things.
I
And
love this.
physiologically, you want to bring your body and nervous system in a regulated form.
Yeah. So don't let our body dying because of the nervous system telling us, I don't have those, I don't have this. Interesting, Rupali. Oh my God. And what about yourself? How did those actually challenges in your personal relationship with money, and how you approach financial decisions now? This is interesting. I
Yes,
want to know about yourself.
yes. So I think for me, I grew up in a household where, I was instilled with various different money beliefs, such as I have to work hard for money, such as, oh, this is a waste of money. If it's a nice, like a luxury item or a trip or something, oh, let's not waste the money. There were many different beliefs that I grew up with. And so to be able to spend money, I would over rationalize them, these kind of spends. So, for example, as you may know, the defense mechanisms we have, where we bring logic and rationalization into kind of use those as defense mechanisms. You bring overly, like,
Yeah.
lots of logic to it, and you try and justify it and all of that. So I would use that. I would go to that and be like, do I need it? Oh, but this is better. I would spend hours and hours trying to research. I would try and make the perfect decision in terms of what I'm buying. So even if it's a small thing, like I don't know, like a I want to, for the lack of a better example, I want to think like of stationery, maybe, something very basic, let's say, or like a plug or electronic plug or something like that. Let's say something very basic. Even if it's something very small like that, I would research to no end, to a point where my nervous system was completely unregulated. I would be so anxious because I would end up in decision paralysis many times because of these things. And the root of it all was I was scared of spending the money. And the reason was because I thought I might get it wrong, I might waste it. So that's one example of kind of in day to day life. And I think what I've learned to do since is regulate my nervous system. I do that every day, whether it's meditation, whether it's if I'm anxious about, I mean, we are living in a world where money is a reality that is
Yeah,
required for basic life. And so there are many different situations that come up, and it's not an overnight change. Even though I'm more aware today than I was before. Sorry, I'm more aware today than I was before. And
yeah.
so I use that awareness and I try and work on it each time it comes up, the situation. Every time I feel myself getting nervous and anxious, I know, like, I become like tight and, like, be like stressed out. Then I get up, I take a walk, I'll get water, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll take a few sips of water, feel the water in my mouth. I'll just take a few deep breaths. I'll do some alternate nostril breathing, depending, it depends on the situation. These are some of the tools I tap into. There's this Hawaiian prayer called Ho'oponopono, which you may know. Um,
Yeah.
I use that. I use that quite a lot. And all the listeners out there, if you've never heard of it, please, Google it, YouTube it, and it's quite an amazing little tool. So there's many different ways I regulate my nervous system. And then what I do is after I make a decision, there's always a chance you're going to get it wrong in inverted commas, right? So there's always
Yeah.
something that may come up later and you're like, oh no, I made the wrong decision. At that point, I just have to be kind to myself. I have to be gentle with myself and I have to tell myself I made the best decision with what I knew at the time. And that's it. And then I move on from there and everything's great.
Oh, wow. Even though you thought on the other side, I thought your thought was telling you that, oh, this is my wrong decision anyway. But by being aware of yourself that, oh, I'm just going to be kind with myself that this is a great decision, even though those that was did not serving you, things like that.
Exactly. Because hindsight is always the clearest you have, right? When in hindsight, everything is easy. In hindsight, everything is obvious. But in the moment of decision, everything is not obvious, and we don't have all the information that we may have later. I mean, the rest of our lives has a lot more information than we have until now. So you'll always find a way to say you've done it wrong. So that's something I prevent. I stop myself from doing that.
Hmm. Do you think that all of the decision that we take is always good, always best decision for us, or it depends on the person who has the awareness, or how does that
Yeah.
mean to you?
How I see it is, I think any decision we make, I think it's the intention that matters. So if the intention is good, then, and if your intention is to make the right decision, then you have to trust that you will always have made the right decision with all the information that you had at that time. That there's no possible better decision you could have made at that time with all the information you had at that time.
Wow, wow,
So
interesting.
forgiving yourself is the best thing you can do, because in your eyes my decision could be the perfect decision, but in my eyes, if I'm very self-critical, my decision can always be the wrong decision, and that's not fair or correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's up to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. So I think, look, I think it's about being kind to ourselves. It's about being gentle. It's about being more aware in day to day life, how we think, how we feel, how we talk, and then taking little baby steps about doing that. So about kind of overcoming that. And you and I both know the power of coaches. You and I both know
Yeah.
the power of these modalities. I think I would really encourage the audience to reach out for help, for coaching, in any form that feels good for you. Uni is an excellent coach for those people that don't know.
Thank
I've
you.
had my sessions with her, and I've had some profound learnings through those sessions. So I would really encourage people to seek help where they need it, and yeah,
Thank you.
make the
And
world a
and
better place.
also and also Rupali has an amazing, inspiring person that I've known. Oh my goodness! And I'm so lucky that we met in Bali a few days ago, guys.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is amazing.
It was
Well,
amazing.
really, really. Um, you know, let's talk about the mindset specific about money, and that how do you want to tell to especially our audience that perhaps maybe any specific mindset shift or practices that help uh, yourself recover you and move forward after setbacks.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
a simple way.
Yeah. I think it's a huge topic, but I think I keep coming back to a few key things. Part of it, which I mentioned earlier. So, when you're having money setbacks, I think being kind and forgiving of yourself, because, like I said, if you've made a decision and that resulted in something that was negative or money related losses or anything like that, then it's about reminding yourself you've done the best you can at the time, knowing what you could. That's one. Two, nervous system regulation, because your body thinks you are dying, your body thinks, your subconscious mind thinks you're not surviving. Regulate your nervous system. Three, in that state of awareness, try and observe yourself every day, every moment. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Especially around if it's money that you're trying to work on, what is it you find yourself saying the most, thinking the most, feeling the most? Do you have more positive emotions around money or negative emotions around money? That will give you a big clue, because if you have more negative emotions around money, that means your subconscious is um, thinking that money is bad, and that, so then that's something that you need to learn to overcome. And how you, once you identify the beliefs that you have or you may have, then really it's about working on those beliefs. So each time that belief comes up, you have to remind yourself of, is this belief true? So let's say the belief is money, you have to work hard for money. Let's say that's the belief. Then remind me, what are proofs to prove it true? What are things that prove this true? Okay. Maybe things that prove this true are things like people that have worked hard in your surroundings have really done well. Maybe that's one example that proves it true. Maybe you see online that people have worked many hours, and a year of sorry, a lifetime of work that has resulted them in some money when they retired. Maybe it's some of these things. Maybe you think that there are people around you that are working very hard and you feel they're doing well. Whether they're doing well or not, you have no clue. But maybe that's what feels like it's true. Then you have to look at what makes it false. What makes it false? So if you look outside, there's someone cleaning the streets. He's working all day, all night. Does he have a lot of money? Possibly not.
Yeah.
So that could tell you that maybe hard work is not the only thing that's required, or maybe hard work is not required for money. So look around you and see examples. What makes this belief false? It's like the judge and the jury. You're kind of trying to prove these things true to yourself. And what I would suggest and I always recommend is write 10 things that make this belief true, and really scratch your head and think about what else is there that makes it true. Yeah, my parents worked hard, so they got some money towards the end of their life. Maybe your siblings, maybe friends. Write 10 things that makes this belief true, and then write 10 things. Or maybe in your past you worked really hard on a project and you did really well and you got money. Maybe that's what makes it true. Then you write what makes it false. Write 10 things that makes it false, and then look at your list. Now you've got a balanced view. And then you decide for yourself, is this belief true or not? Likely it is not true because you've proven it false. If there's at least one thing that proves it false, that means it's not true.
Yeah. And also one thing, such as the limiting beliefs about, oh, I come from the very poor family. I don't think I can get that money.
Yeah,
I can't afford that. I can't work in the high position because I come from the poor family.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I don't think this is also, I think this is just this is also limiting beliefs that block we are. getting money out there.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And because then you just find one thing that proves that belief false, right? Are there people that around you or in the world? Is there anyone? Is there at least one person in the world that comes from a very poor background but is very rich today? Is there at least one person? 100%. There's more than one person.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So that means it's a false belief.
yeah.
So I think this
Um,
topic is very big, but I think these little things are very important to explore what we're feeling about money, what we're thinking about money, and unless we unless we address these beliefs and these things on a subconscious level, you can win the lottery tomorrow. But why is it that people that win the lottery cannot keep money? Because of the subconscious beliefs. So unless you address these subconscious beliefs, money either won't stay or it won't come.
right.
So yeah, so I think that's a big topic that we've
Yeah.
discussed. But I hope these things are helpful for the listeners that are listening in terms of
And
money
oh
mindset.
yeah, of course. And anything else that you want to share, Rupali, about money? Because I think I think money is important to, and especially talking about money mindset is really important to share to my audience. Because not many people, should I say this, like I don't think many people has the right mindset about money, and this is why we keep, uh, especially keep in circle, like money just come and go,
Hmm.
and just
Yeah.
it's
I think there's one thing that I would say is I think be open to it. Be open to so if something has not worked out for you until now, then be open to there being a different way. If your mindset has not helped you until now, then
yeah.
don't call money mindset fluffy and woo woo. Maybe be open to it being true and maybe it can help you. So that's what I would encourage people to be curious and be open to these things and play with it, explore it. Don't be cynical about stuff you don't understand because you don't understand it, but be more curious and be like, wait a second, what if this was the one thing that could turn my entire life around? Let me be curious about it. That's what I would encourage.
Hmm. I think this is interesting. um how can we invite ourselves to be more curious about this? Don't call the money mindset as a woo woo and etc. And how can we, like, oh my god, it's such as like easy to say, but how can we be curious about that? Because sometimes when we are in that state of like, tomorrow I'm going to pay my bills, but I don't have the money right now. The collector, like the people asking for the, hey, give me my money back, give me my money back, and then our mind, our thought, it's like I don't know what to do. I think this is based on my experience,
Yeah.
because I need to pay my bill. I need to pay something because I have a debt. I have nothing in my bank account. And I could not be curious. I can't, because it was just like there. And how can we?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that the one thing that you're in that state, I think anytime you're feeling anxious, stressed, anytime your body, your heart is racing, you're feeling anxious, you know it in your body when you're anxious, right? I think that look, does is stress ever the answer to anything?
No,
What do you think? No, right?
no,
So
not at
we
all.
have to bring ourselves somehow out of that stress mode, regardless of the situation. Stress is never the answer. Maybe some people think it's the answer because that helps them, push them into doing things, but actually that's survival that is pushing them to doing things, not stress. So we want to always I'm coming back to nervous system regulation because in that moment, if you allow yourself to be stressed and be that way, then the solution is not going to come. That's one. Two, energetically, you are affirming to yourself that I deserve to be in the situation and I'm going to stay here forever.
All right. Yeah.
So, energetically and from a physiological perspective, you have to bring yourself out of that state in that moment of stress. Every time you feel that stress, that's what we need to do. And without being, um, be kind to yourself. Like I said, so if I get stressed about money today and I overcome it, and then if I get stressed about it tomorrow again, I shouldn't be like, oh, I'm stressed again. No, it's that's okay. Stressed again, that's fine. And then you do one exercise that brings your nervous system into regulation, basically.
Right.
So that's how
Right.
we need to be about it. Just the first thing you can ever do is make sure you're not stressed and your body knows that your survival is not under threat. The lion is not in front of you and is not going to eat you, no matter how much it feels like it's going to eat you. It's not there. It's not going to eat you. So you have to remind yourself of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, interesting one. But by the way, how's the business in Prana House? How does that help you with your your job? Are you okay to because you have three jobs right now, as you mentioned. How
Yeah.
do you manage your time to take
Yeah.
care of those three things?
I think, look, it's a big answer. I know we're almost on the hour, so I'll keep it very short. And then I feel like you and I need to do a few more recordings of bite-sized, quick episodes in the
Yes.
future, so that we can
Yeah.
get into different topics. But quick answer is that Prana House, the yoga center that I own, is amazing because it brings balance into my life. It's a business, so it does have its things that come up, but wellness is something that I'm very passionate about. And every time I'm able to spread wellness or experience wellness through a class, through different things, then that's something that helps me perform much better at my job. So I think they both complement each other really nicely.
Wow.
And then the podcast is the podcast. It's something I'm so passionate about, money mindset, that
Yeah.
like the conversations we're having, it's just amazing exploring different topics. So that's how I would say.
Yeah, you're right. We can have another recording next time. But here's the thing before we come into the end question. Do you have any role that you think that, like a personal development plays in building resilience and confidence around money?
Yeah, 100%. I think personal development is the key thing that has allowed me to understand what my money mindset is, and my mindset about many different things in life. And so I think that awareness is what empowers me to perform immensely well in my career, in my business, in my personal life. And so I think that it's played the biggest role in my life to just, to bring me where I am today, which I'm very grateful for.
Yes. So 100% we need, work and think about, the personal development. All right. Last question. If you would like to share, if you could share one piece of advice to especially my audience here, um, who is who is scared of taking risks, because I do still have this kind of limiting beliefs. Yeah, please.
Yeah. I think that if I could share one advice is that, like I said, be curious. Remind yourself that keeping your money in cash is not going to grow it. Keeping your money in bank account is not going to grow it. So anything you have in access, invest it in a way that fits right for you. And one other thing I would say is do not try and copy anyone else's portfolio. Do not try and copy anyone else's investments because everyone's requirements, their objectives, their risk tolerance, everything is very, very different. So I would say Start small, be comfortable. The whole journey of financial investments is about nervous system regulation also, because to be invested in the market is about going through some downs, going through ups, but in the long term it's something that you want to do to be able to grow your wealth. So that's what I would say, that again, nervous system regulation is a huge part
Yeah.
of it, but learn about it, understand it, and see what's the best solution for you. Don't trust anyone blindly. But start small, but start, and it's never too late.
Oh, I love this because never trust people blindly. Because I think this is also one experience that made my business in the first place was, you know, gone, like fail, I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
So here you go, guys. So don't trust people blindly. Thank you very much, Rupali, for your time. It's been beautiful
You
share
so
about
much,
money
really.
mindset. And honestly, this is not just we're not finished, right? I mean, we're not
We've
finished
got you
only
to
in
we've got
this.
you to cover in the future. We need
Yes,
to talk more
for
about you
sure.
next time.
Yes. And thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Rupali has a business called Prana in Dubai. If you would like to check, just please contact. I'll put the link and everything, account, Instagram,
Perfect.
into the
Thank you.
description below. Thank you very much, Rupali, for your time. It's been
Thank you,
beautiful
Uni.
conversation.
Appreciate it.
And bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Rupali. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Uni. I think we